The crystal glasses clinked as my sister Amanda raised her fourth toast of the evening. The whole family sat around our parents' mahogany dining table, celebrating her promotion to Senior Vice President at Meridian Tech Solutions. To success, she beamed, her designer bracelet catching the light. And to finally making the family proud. Everyone raised their glasses. Everyone except me. Oh, come on, Olivia, Amanda smirked, her perfectly manicured hand gesturing toward my untouched wine. At least pretend to be happy for me. Though I understand if you're uncomfortable with success. I took a small sip of water instead, letting her words hang in the air. 5 years ago, I'd left my corporate job to start an e-commerce platform. My family never let me forget what they considered my biggest mistake. Speaking of work, my mother chimed in, anxiety clear in her voice. How's your little online thing going, dear? Before I could answer, Amanda let out a laugh. Mom, please. She's still playing with her little website. What is it again? Some sort of shopping thing. Digital marketplace integration platform, I corrected quietly. Right, Amanda rolled her eyes. Meanwhile, I'm handling multi-million-dollar accounts at a real tech company. Meridian stock hit another record high today, by the way. Our father, ever the investment banker, perked up. Meridian's doing extraordinary things. Their acquisition strategy is aggressive but brilliant. They've absorbed 3 smaller tech companies this quarter alone. Actually, Amanda straightened up, shooting me a superior look. We're finalizing another major acquisition next month. Can't say much, but it's going to be huge. The board's very excited. Still playing with your little website? The words dripped with condescension. You know, Olivia, Meridian's always hiring. I could put in a word. Maybe get you something in data entry? The table erupted in poorly concealed laughter. I looked down at my plain black dress, a stark contrast to Amanda's designer outfit, and thought about the meeting I'd had earlier that day with my executive team. I'm doing fine, Amanda, I said softly. Fine, she scoffed. You work from your apartment. You never go to parties or networking events. When was the last time you even took a vacation? What she didn't know was that my apartment was the penthouse of a building I owned. That I skipped parties because I was too busy building a tech empire. That instead of vacations, I'd spent the last 5 years developing the most advanced e-commerce integration system in the industry. Some of us prefer to work quietly, I replied. That's the problem, Olivia, Amanda sighed dramatically. You've always been small. Small dreams, small ambitions. Not everyone can handle the big leagues like Meridian. I felt my phone buzz in my pocket. Probably another update from my M&A team about tomorrow's board meeting. The meeting where we'd finalize the details of our latest acquisition. How many employees does Meridian have now? I asked innocently. Amanda beamed. Over 5,000. We're the fastest growing tech company in the sector. I nodded, thinking about the email I'd received that morning, confirming our company had just crossed 10,000 employees globally. But they didn't need to know that. Not yet. And this acquisition you mentioned, I continued, it must be exciting. Oh, it's revolutionary, Amanda gushed. Once we announce it next month, everyone will see why Meridian is the future of tech. Maybe then you'll understand what real business looks like. I checked my watch. In exactly 12 hours, Meridian's board would receive our acquisition offer. Not for us to be acquired, but for us to buy them. My company, the little website they'd mocked for years, was about to become Meridian's parent company. More wine, Amanda? I offered, filling her glass. You should celebrate while you can. She missed my meaning entirely, raising her glass again. To success. And to hoping my little sister eventually figures out how business really works. I smiled and excused myself early, citing work commitments. As I waited for my driver outside, I received another text from my CFO. Everything's set for tomorrow. They won't know what hit them. Looking back at the dining room window, I could see them all still laughing, probably at another joke at my expense. Amanda stood at the center, holding court, basking in her moment of glory. Enjoy it, sis, I whispered to myself as I stepped into my car. Tomorrow's going to be interesting. My driver pulled up to a sleek glass building in the heart of downtown. The real headquarters of Nova Digital Enterprises, my little website that had quietly become the world's largest e-commerce integration platform. Good evening, Ms. Bennett. The night security guard greeted me as I entered. Unlike my family's dining room, here everyone knew exactly who I was. The elevator opened directly into our executive floor, 70,000 square feet of state-of-the-art offices that would have made Amanda's jaw drop. Michael was waiting in my office. "How was family dinner?" he asked, already knowing the answer. "Predictable," I replied, kicking off my modest flats and replacing them with the Louboutins I kept in my office. "Amanda's still celebrating her SVP promotion at Meridian." Michael smiled, pulling up our latest acquisition documents on the wall-to-wall screens. If she only knew her little sister is about to become her boss. I settled behind my desk, reviewing the numbers we'd spent months preparing. Acquisition offer for Meridian Tech Solutions. Purchase price, $8.2 billion. Premium over market value, 40%. Payment structure, cash and stock. Planned restructuring, immediate. "Walk me through the timeline again," I said, pouring myself a Real drink. Not the wine I'd barely touched at dinner. Michael pulled up our strategic roadmap. Year 1 to 2, built Nova's core technology. Developed proprietary integration algorithms. Secured key patents. Grew user base to 1M plus businesses. Year 3, international expansion. Opened offices in 12 countries. Acquired 4 competing platforms. Revenue reached $1 billion. Year 4, strategic positioning. Launched enterprise solutions. Secured Fortune 500 clients. Started accumulating Meridian stock quietly. Year 5, preparation for Meridian acquisition. Controlled 12% of Meridian through shell companies. Positioned Nova as essential partner. Built war chest of $10 billion plus for acquisitions. "Show me Meridian's vulnerabilities again," I requested. Michael pulled up another screen. "Their integration technology is 5 years behind ours. They're losing enterprise clients to our platform. Their stock is overvalued and their acquisition strategy has left them cash poor." "And Amanda's division?" "Senior VP of Client Relations," Michael chuckled. "She's been trying to poach our clients without realizing they're already locked into long-term contracts with us." My phone buzzed, a message from our lead counsel. "Final acquisition documents ready. Board presentation prepared for 9 a.m. I opened my laptop to review the presentation one last time. The opening slide was simple but powerful. Nova Digital Enterprises. Acquisition of Meridian Tech Solutions. A strategic integration of technologies. "What's our current market share?" I asked, though I knew the answer. 65% of global e-commerce integration, Michael replied. Meridian has 15%. After tomorrow we'll control 80% of the market. I stood and walked to the window looking out at the city lights. Somewhere across town Amanda was probably still celebrating, still mocking my little website. "Their board meets at 9 a.m., Michael noted. "Your sister's regular morning meeting with her team is at 8:30. Should we wait until after?" "No," I decided. "Send the offer at 8:45. I want her to be in that meeting when they announce it." My phone rang, Amanda's name flashing on the screen. Probably calling to continue her gloating. "Hello. Olivia." He sounded tipsy. I felt bad about dinner. "Look, I really could help you get a position at Meridian. Something appropriate for your experience level." I put the phone on speaker so Michael could hear. "Still playing with your little website?" she continued. "It's time to join the real business world, sis." "Actually," I replied calmly, "I have an important meeting tomorrow morning. But thanks for thinking of me." "Important meeting?" she laughed. "What, did someone's shopping cart break?" "Something like that. Good night, Amanda." I hung up and turned to Michael. "Move the offer to 8:30 sharp. I want it to hit right when her meeting starts." He nodded, updating the timeline. "What about your parents?" "They'll find out with everyone else," I said, sitting back down to review the documents. "They never bothered to ask about my business before. They can read about it in tomorrow's Wall Street Journal." The next few hours were a blur of final preparations. 8 p.m., legal team final review. 9 p.m., press releases prepared. 10 p.m., global team briefing. 11 p.m., market makers positioned. 12 a.m., Asian markets briefed. By midnight everything was ready. I stayed in my office, watching the global markets react to subtle positions we'd taken. Our stock would open significantly higher tomorrow, while Meridians would be vulnerable to our offer. At 2 a.m. I received one last text from Amanda. Hope you're not staying up late working on your little website. Some of us have important meetings tomorrow. Face blowing a kiss. I didn't reply. Instead, I opened my personal safe and took out an old photo of me at my college graduation standing with Amanda. Back then she'd been proud of her brilliant little sister. Something had changed when I left the corporate track to start Nova. Success in her view could only look one way. Michael, I called to my CEO who was still working in his office. Add one condition to the acquisition terms. What's that? Amanda keeps her job. But move her to our Singapore office. She wanted me to think bigger. Let's see how she handles global responsibility. I finally left the office at 3 a.m., my driver taking me back to my penthouse. In a few hours everything would change. My sister's company would become a subsidiary of mine. My family would finally see what I'd built. The little website would be revealed as a tech giant. But first I needed a few hours of sleep. Tomorrow was going to be interesting. 8:15 a.m. I sat in my private conference room watching 6 different screens simultaneously. One showed Meridian's stock price, steady at $142. Another displayed their boardroom, where directors were settling in for their routine meeting. A third showed Amanda's division, where she was preparing to lead her team meeting. Everything's in position, Michael reported. Legal team standing by. Press release goes live in 12 minutes. I nodded, adjusting my blazer. No more modest black dress, but a tailored Chanel suit that cost more than Amanda's monthly salary. Show me the numbers one last time. Our offer would hit simultaneously through multiple channels. Direct to Meridian's board. E-filing. Major financial news outlets. Internal company announcement. Stock exchange notification. 8:25 a.m. Amanda stood at her conference room podium, smoothing her hair. Good morning, team. Let's talk about our incredible growth. 8:28 a.m. Meridian's board members checked their phones one last time before their meeting. 8:29 a.m. Our finger hovered over the button that would change everything. 8:30 a.m. Execute, I said quietly. The reaction was immediate and magnificent. In Amanda's meeting room, every phone buzzed simultaneously. I watched through our live feed as she paused mid-sentence, annoyed at the interruption. Then her face changed as she read the notification. Breaking. Nova Digital Enterprises announces $8.2 billion acquisition of Meridian Tech Solutions. In the boardroom, chaos erupted. Directors scrambled to pull up the details, their faces shifting from confusion to shock as they saw the numbers. Put me through to their boardroom, I instructed our tech team. The massive screen in Meridian's boardroom suddenly lit up with my face. Several directors actually gasped. Good morning, I said calmly. I'm Olivia Bennett, CEO of Nova Digital Enterprises. I believe you're reviewing our offer. This must be a mistake, Meridian CEO stammered. Nova is a small e-commerce platform. Nova controls 65% of global e-commerce integration, I corrected him. Your 15% market share would complement our operations nicely. I've taken the liberty of sending each of you a complete analysis of synergies and integration plans. Their tablets pinged with the incoming documents. The offer is quite generous, I continued. 40% premium over your current market value, which, as your Q3 reports will soon show, is already significantly overvalued. The color drained from their faces. They hadn't released those reports yet, but I had sources. How did you? Their CFO began. The same way we acquired 12% of your shares over the past year, I smiled. Careful planning and better technology. Meanwhile, in Amanda's meeting room, chaos reigned. Her team was reading the press release, whispering and pointing at their phones. She stood frozen at the podium. Impossible, she whispered, but her microphone picked it up. This can't be. Olivia's website. Her phone rang. My name on the screen. Put me through to her room too, I instructed. Amanda's conference room screen lit up with my face, now split with the boardroom view. Good morning, sis, I said pleasantly. Sorry to interrupt your meeting. How was your coffee this morning? Olivia, she squeaked. What is this? This is business, Amanda. Real business. The kind you told me I needed to learn about. Her team watched in stunned silence as their senior VP faced her younger sister. Their new suit. But you just have a website. He stammered. Had a website, I corrected her. Now we have the largest e-commerce integration platform globally, offices in 15 countries and as of, I checked my watch, 3 minutes ago, a market cap of $50 billion. The boardroom erupted again as Meridian's stock price started moving. Mr. Davidson, I addressed Meridian so, your stock is down 15% on the news. Our offer looks more generous by the minute. I suggest you vote quickly. You can't do this, Amanda found her voice. Dad won't let. As if on cue, my parents burst into Amanda's conference room. They must have been nearby when the news broke. Olivia, my father shouted, looking wildly at my face on the screen. What is the meaning of this? Good morning, Dad, I smiled. I'm in the middle of an acquisition meeting. Could we catch up later? Perhaps at dinner? I'll have my assistant make reservations at Le Cirque. But, your little website. My mother whispered. Generated $12 billion in revenue last year, I finished for her. Which reminds me, Amanda, about that data entry position you offered. I have something else in mind. How's your Mandarin? We have an opening in our Singapore office. The boardroom screen suddenly shifted. They'd moved to vote on the offer. I'll give you all some privacy, I said. Amanda, HR will be in touch about the transition. Mom, Dad, I'll see you at dinner. Michael has already sent the details to your phones. I cut the connection but kept watching the feeds. The board voted 11-1 to accept our offer. Amanda sat down heavily in her chair, her perfect image crumbling. My parents stood shell-shocked, watching their daughter's roles reverse in real time. Markets responding perfectly, Michael reported. We're up 22% on the news. I nodded, finally allowing myself to relax. Send the secondary press release. The one about our expansion plans. You mean the one that mentions our upcoming acquisitions in Europe? That'll give Amanda something to think about in Singapore. My phone buzzed continuously, messages from family members, old friends, former colleagues. Amazing how many people suddenly remembered me. I picked up only one, a text from Amanda. Why didn't you tell me? I replied with a single line, you never asked. Too busy mocking my little website. By noon, the business world was buzzing about the unknown tech giant that had emerged from the shadows. By evening, every major news outlet had my story. The quiet founder who built an empire while her family thought she was playing with a website. I kept the dinner reservations at Le Cirque. Showed up in a designer dress that cost more than my sister's car. Ordered the most expensive wine. Still playing with your little website? I asked Amanda as she slumped in her seat. Or should we talk about your upcoming move to Singapore? Sometimes success doesn't need to be loud. Sometimes it's better to stay quiet, build something extraordinary and wait for the perfect moment to show them exactly who you are. And sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's simply revealing the truth they were too arrogant to see.